bit lines. And there's also another tactic that we saw, the study group hold hand tactic. Saving Private Dahua, Marcel P, Wet Jungler, all in the same lobby, and their thought process is at least one of us is going to make it to the finals.
I think it's also interesting because looking at the draft, you might think historically some of these players are very good. That doesn't make sense how they're picked. But I think it really comes down to your form in scrims. I think there's way more recency bias when it comes to drafting and maybe even just playstyle clashes. If you feel like you're the only Fast 9 player in your lobby, that could be an advantage, for example.
And there were some players that went, well, you know what? I should not have been picked, so I'm going to take the whole lobby down with me. And that's how we ended up getting some of these super lobbies that we'll show you in just a moment. But as our players have started to power rank each other and our casters have kind of gotten in the mix, maybe you folks at home who are tuning in have also done so. And you can put your pedal to the metal and see if your mind gets it right by joining in on our pick'ems powered by AWS. They are back and they are better than ever. So make sure that you get your predictions locked in before we start our first game of the day. You can go to riot.com/tacticianscrown and check out all of the additional information that we have to share with you about what's coming up in this weekend. So maybe you can win some in-game cosmetics. That'll be really cool to see if you can be the smartest person in the room. But back to our competition at hand and how those lobbies actually ended up shaking out after the draft. We get a chance to see and show you exactly which lobby we're talking about, because there is a clear one here that is maybe harder than the rest of them.
Yeah, lobby 3 is a little interesting.
Lobby 3, the lobby of death. Personally, I have 4 players in this lobby making the finals between Lakoko, Robin Songs, YBY, and Ironbach. Absolutely stacked. And I just want to say, if you need some draft coaching, Lau, YFTX, the CM players, they have some interesting picks.
It's a really crazy lobby. I'm excited to see also someone like Flancy, for example, competing now on the big stage. A player who I think is historically one of those big titans from CN.
Yeah, and I have to just give a shout out to YBY1. I think he's been one of my favorite players to actually get a chance to watch, because when you think about like just exciting TFT, you've got fast roll downs, fast APM, and also a really unique read on the meta. And so maybe we can see some cool compositions from him too.
Absolutely. There's so many fun players right here. We're taking a look now at Chengdu. This is the Chonk Park. It's the capital of Hot Pot and Pandas.
Yay,
not the one next to
let's go, Chengdu. I'm a fan already,
It's just so amazing. When we watched the TOC, we saw all of the players in the final game trying to brave the variants and win that crown for TOC. The player reactions there are just amazing to watch.
I love all the lights too. It's just like, it just gives so much pomp and circumstance to the Tactician's crown, and I think that's what makes things so exciting about being able to send off our set championship in this way, is that, you know, we're putting a nice end cap on what has been a great set of TFT again.
This is the moment. It's the bright lights.
A great set of TFT again.
This is the moment. It's the bright lights for all our competitors. This is what they've been working through this entire set to make it to this point, and now to try and perform to the best of their ability in this point as well. This is where journeys and careers are written, really. This is the climax of TFT, really, for the set.
And while we know what our players are going to be competing for, we kind of want to know what they're going to be actually playing in the competition. And that's why we've got our tactical breakdown presented by HyperX. We're going to give you a little bit of a sneak preview on what to expect from our competitors as they look towards what to play in these actual games. And now there has been a small patch that has happened in between the end of our regional finals and the start of the Tactician's Crown. So what do you think is going to happen for this weekend?
I think this is a great patch because it really opens up the floor to 4-cost flexes. We had a big nerf to the Fast 9 lines in the Crystal Gambit. Your 5 Crystal Gambit cash outs are a little bit less, so it's not all Crystal Ash. And of course, you can't really just play a tempo into Fast 9 line as easily. I think this is one of the best patches that we've had all set. It's very open.
And I think the key thing is that the nerfs haven't killed any comps. They just force these comps to maybe reinvent
first time this set,
how they stabilize on stage 4. Lee Sin, Juggernaut still.
But the nerfs don't kill comps.
I think we'll see this weekend still a very, very strong AP reroll.
There is one that has started to shine above the rest, and we've got to call attention to Malzahar Reroll. This was a composition that actually did quite well in the regional finals with multiple different variations of it, but with that buff to the Rammus has made it even more impactful, especially when you're able to get the augment double trouble.
This is the one outlier of the patch, I would say. All the players agree that if everyone is just on check already, then this is the most likely composition to win because you don't have a chance to grief them. It's really fun to see how players react to it because in scrims, most players have silently agreed that they're just going to grief the Double Trouble player to make sure he doesn't run away.
That being said, it's only a comp that can be played from a condition of finding Double Trouble and a gold augment start in a game, so it won't, I think, entirely take over the tournament, but when it's offered, I have to imagine an insta-pick, and players will also strongly posture. The moment they pick Double Trouble, everyone knows what you're playing, and they can hold some Aldahars, even in Stage 2, I think.
I love that you talk about gold augments and then reminds me of Trait Tracker, which is also a gold augment that has also seen a lot of success. Clement's crying. Why are you crying?
It's okay, Clement. It's okay.
Okay, one of Clement's favorite compositions to see. But all of this to show you that there's still so much more that K.O Coliseum can give us while we get a chance to send it off in such a great fashion. But that also leaves us so much to look forward to in the future because as I'm sure you've seen, we've already gotten the name of the set 16 lore and legends, and already such an amazing cinematic trailer to really get us excited for what's to come in the next set. Now, you're going to want to stay tuned throughout the entire day because we're going to be showing off even more reveals for set 16, and that dev drop is coming after game number 5, so you'll get even more information. It's going to be such a great time. But while we have a lot of goodies to show you here throughout this weekend, we also have a lot of amazing faces to show off. And that's because we've got 7 co-streamers here with us, joining us on LAN. And I believe Hupe is standing by with one right now. Who you got?
Yeah, I'm here with Reven and Snooty, co-streaming elite players that went into the pro circuit. Reven, I wanted to know your thoughts. Any favorite player, one you think will win it all?
I think this year is for EMEA, so I think Coco, Double, or Bensac will do it.
Nice. Good picks here. Snooty, any player that you think will be a surprise, someone that no one is expecting?
I would really like for Quintanilla to win it because he's an underdog and I met him in Los Angeles. He's a very cool guy, so it would be awesome for him to win. Yeah.
Nice. So please check our core streamers also in parallel and back to the desk.
Yes, thank you so much, Hupe. Love that we get a chance to see our co-streamers here like Reven, like Snooty, and also just so many others. If English is not your primary language, or you just want to get a chance to check out some of our additional player perspectives, then you're definitely going to want to keep our eyes out on our co-streamers.
I have to mention, sadly, another set, no Spanish player qualifying at TACCROM, but at the very least, Riot invited them to be co-streamers. Reven was so close, he gave us so much hope. But I'm sure the Spanish community will love to hear his perspective on all the games and all the action. I think it's great to have all these different options for viewing in different languages as well.
Reven really was so close to making it.
I was believing, believe me, Necra.
Me too, I know. It's so heartbreaking to see that our players get so close, but I think it just gives us such hope for the future of TFT. The fact that we've had 5 years and every single set, every single year we continue to grow the program, as well as be able to see our players achieve even greater heights, that's what we're here for.
I have to say, to preface this tournament, this is the best chance EMEA has to end the drought, to wake up from the nightmare.
You just cursed us, Clement.
None of the champions that have blocked them are present. Double 61 is the only one here. They went second place 4 times. You guys are silver miners. But this time, none of those players are there. You know, Jedusor was close, Double was close. If EMEA doesn't win it, when? You know, that's the question.
Thank you, Clement, for now adding even more pressure. I just wanted to, you know, I like
yeah, he is not funny.
Now I feel like it's hard to pilot my way out of this point.
Well, at least you don't have to mech pilot. Hey! That was really bad.
2 weeks too late on that one.
That's it. I know it's not here anymore because we got that patch in the middle of our regional finals, but I'm just so excited. You can really feel just the hype that is with all of our players joining us on LAN, and I think we will hopefully be able to send that energy to you, all of you viewers at home. But in case you want to experience an event like this, while this is on a smaller scale, wait till you see the scale that the TFT Paris Open is about to provide, one of our biggest events of the year. Guys, I love that we get a chance to have these bigger in-person LANs that are open for everybody, and there are still spectator passes available. So make sure you scan that QR code, get some more information about the Paris Open, and join us in the celebration.
You don't want to miss this. Every Opens has been a magical experience. The connections you can make there, you know, the Rift Round packs you can probably find at the event right there. It's going to be amazing, and what a city to do it. I really hope that one of these Parisians can defend the home turf.
And if we miss somehow in TAC Crown Clement, maybe we'll be playing with a home court advantage now that Paris Open is finally in EMEA. So I'm just super excited personally. Obviously, my biases are very evident, but Paris is a great city as well. So just so pumped for how that's all going to shake out.
Well, I mean, if the pattern continues, Vegas was won by Malala. We also had the home advantage there in Macau.
Keep going, Necra,
so
keep going.
In Paris, it's
Double
gotta
curse.
be.
Let's go, guys.
But yeah, no, it's just because you're on the broadcast. We gotta get a couple of digs at you before we get into our first game.
I'm being bullied here. It's a 2v1.
Well, you have your saver right in front of you. I have him in my pick'ems as the player to win it all. It's going to be double. I trust.
It's hard not to believe, right? 7 times. Now he's holding the record by himself. He used to be tied with players like Voltairix before, for example, Title, for example, as well. But because like you mentioned, a lot of the big favorite names did not make it to K.O Coliseum's TAC Crown, it's now just on double to, I think, hold a bit more of that pressure by himself in terms of maybe the player everyone, the moment they see double in his lobby, are like, whoa, this guy has won it before, all the way back in Galaxies, and he's always a player to be scared of, I think, on the field.
But there's something else that actually comes with the aura of Double 61 and that legacy that he's trying to create. There's always been this conversation about who is the greatest TFT player of all time.
What is going on in that
Double
chat?
needs to be a part of that conversation because he's done something that no other player has ever been able to accomplish before. He has
That's
made
an unfortunate
it to the regional
timing.
finals of every single TFT set that we have had since Galaxies. He's been there. And if Double 61 is not at the regional finals, something is incredibly wrong in the world.
Anyone that says TFT is a game of luck, I mean, there are so many examples I can give them, but I think Double is a clear one. So consistent across such a long span with different metas, different sets, different patches, but no matter what, someone like Double, and I think most of our elite players prove time and time again that they can control that variance, they can control the decisions they have across the entire game, and TFT is a game of absolute skill.
If I was a scripter, and I'm not saying that Riot does hire scripts, but I'm just saying that I think it would be perfect for Double to enter that GOAT conversation with Dish Soap and Title. Double titles to go along with
Double
it.
Trouble Malzahar?
Maybe.
I'll take it.
And also win it on home court and then bring it to Paris.
Oh,
that storyline is
right.
amazing. So
You're hired.
But I don't want to put too much pressure on Double specifically.
No pressure,
because
okay.
as he also said, and as a lot of our competitors have mentioned, this entire field is just so stacked and chock full of talent. I mean, we take a look at some of our players also coming in from the Americas. We were only able to highlight a couple from LATAM as well as from North America. But what about our Brazilian representatives? I think that is a region that has just kind of leveled up even then some. We look at the regional finals for the Americas and how that finished with Brazilians making history. First and second place. That was such a just stellar moment for the region, and they've really got a chance to prove themselves now here at the TAC Crown.
Look at the bigger picture, I think. Post-merge with the Americas as a region with BR joining NA, there was a question of, can BR hang? Are they going to be good enough to compete against the best players in NA? After seeing Replay win, after seeing Dish Soap win, after seeing Weijin come up and really perform at a high level. But I think we're seeing now that overall the practice and the competition has been better, and some of these BR players are starting to rise. We saw now for the first time ever at the Americas Regionals, first and second place, CMB9 and Sheiko, both Brazilian players. So I love to see it. I love to see Brazil rising to that point of stardom, and I think they can. I hope they can translate that same energy and same confidence coming into this TAC round as well.
It's really amazing because a lot of these players here are first timers. We have Marcel P coming in as well. So the field has actually, this is actually one of our less experienced fields compared to 13 and 14.
That's right.
I believe there's only like 20 returning players from previous Tacticians crowned. So it's going to be interesting to see what they do. And there's also the conditioning format that they have to deal with when they're on the LAN.
And you might think a player on their debut could be more shaky, could have more nerves, but we saw great examples. Players like Cambuly last year that they just absolutely dominated, made it to final lobby, for example. So I hope to see more of that this set. I hope to see players who have, maybe with TPC, grown more accustomed to being in that spotlight, grown more accustomed to being at that top level, playing very, very tough competition the entire set. And now coming to TAC round, not feeling nerves, playing to the best of their ability, and we get to see clean and confident TFT all weekend long.
Well, there is one thing that the TFT Pro Circuits provide outside of just the strength of the competition that you're going to face off against throughout the set, but that checkmate format. I think that's something that a lot of our players, if you don't have experience with it, end up struggling with for the final day. Because the way that works is players need to accumulate a certain number of points to put them into check, and then they need a first place in order to win the competition. And this is a format that a lot of our players in the TFT Pro Circuit now have a lot of experience with, so they can apply that to this situation as well if they make it there.
It's really interesting because you're automatically looking at the players with a high first place rate. And now I want to call out a couple of them. JD Zielinski, best Crystal Ash player that we have on the field. The average of a 2 on that. And his Twitter bio actually has me in the back end, so I have to root for him. Like, he's going to do well for sure. And then on the other hand, I think Double 61 really stands out as one of those other high cap players, really auto pivots to kind of the Crystal line as well in the previous patch.
I think it's also the players who can flip a switch, because day 1 and 2, not necessarily really rewarding for those players chasing first places or taking huge risks. I think it's more about top 4ing, about being consistent, about dodging those bottom 8 placements today with that cutoff happening after day 1 ends. But then there's some players that can play for top 4, play very consistent, make it into final lobby, and then flip the switch and immediately play for this 1st or 8th style that is much better for checkmate. So I think those are the key players to watch this weekend.
Robin Songs is one of those players that comes to mind as somebody who is so experienced at being able to just accumulate top 4s. He is so consistent, so that he has been able to get the final lobby of regional finals 8 out of the 11 times that he has appeared there. Only one of the players that can actually kind of battle it out with Double 61 in terms of the history that he's been able to get at those regional finals. And we know he can win because he's won 2 of those regional finals as well of the 11. But when it comes to being able to kind of flip that switch, at least you know that Robin Songs will be there and that like the second to last or that final lobby.
We're going to see a lot from the player line selections. Fast 9 on 15.8 is much harder to achieve. You can't really get those crystal cash outs. 300 is much harder to get. You're usually settling for 250 when you're playing on the Fast 9. So there's a lot of more space to kind of default towards, I would say, the Shojin and Infinity Edge line, playing through Samira, playing through Volibear, and playing through Jinx. That is going to be the mainstay of the meta, and just to secure that safe top 4.
I think the Fast 9 is less so the usual playstyle of huge econ, you know, with a prismatic econ start, for example, lose streak, 10 lose streak, and then, you know, go to 9 on 4-2. It's not really the way to play it in this set. I think the key for most of the players is if they find these very cheap and high value boards to win streak all of stage 2 and 3 with, maybe slotting Crystal Gambit as a whole to get the extra resources in stage 4, lose 60, 70 HP in stage 4, but then come back in stage 5 with so much more resources than everyone else in the lobby and make it to 9 in a comfortable way. I think no player wants to go 9 with 20, 30 gold and gamble on finding a TF so it can start scaling, or gamble on finding a Braum 2 in 30 gold. I think they want to only play it from very confident spots. And when they don't have that confidence in the resources, they instead will go into, like you mentioned, Clement, the 4 cost with Volibear, with Samira.
The portal is going to influence a lot of the decision-making for a lot of our players. We do have Crab Rave, we also have Scuttle Puddle, both of which are going to be able to provide a lot of items and gold. I know we're like, ooh, that could be the one. But we also, I see what you're saying is we're actually have our players starting to launch in a game. So we might be also joining them very shortly. But yes, portal influences a lot of those decision-making early on.
Yeah, if we're seeing prismatic portals, then that pretty much means nobody's going to be playing 4 costs. It's just too high cap. You don't have enough time to pressure each other out. You want to settle for the rerolls or the Fast 9. So, as you said, I think the opening encounters are absolutely pivotal to the line selection of these players.
That being said, the goal for this day 1, consistent for the most part, not too many risks. The only goal that I think, maybe not for every player, I think some players will be risky because they're playing already for that top 8 and that final lobby, the very ambitious players like Double 61, you know, the players who are the elite among the elite. But today I think it's all about surviving and trying to make it to day 2 in the first place.
But that's a good point because points will carry over between day 1 and 2. So that is where, you know, you can't just really afford to just scrape by.
When the game starts, I'm going to move to the quiet feed.
You are going to have several cuts
Okay,
happening on day 2. You don't want to put yourself into the best position possible. So maybe it isn't just about securing.
Alright, now there's not much going on.
It is about going for first and taking those risks, so you have more breathing room on day 2.
It's really interesting. The players have very different perspectives on this because it's only a top 25% makes it to finals. A lot of players actually feel pressured to go for first places early on. You get that padding. When you have a bad roll, you can still survive that. So it really depends on how you see the lobby. If you think the lobby is actually beneath your level, then you actually want to secure those first places really early on. If you think the lobby is really hard, top 4 good enough?
You basically have to find X amount of games where you can really get a lot of points, and you have to choose either through lobby strength or through the spots you're given on 2. When you have a really good spot, you have to play more risky to try and squeeze the most juice out of that spot, because you might not get it again. You might low roll other openers. I think the key thing, though, for the elite of the elites is, if you go 7th or 8th in game 1, how do you bounce back? I think it's really important in terms of setting the momentum for the rest of the day and the entire competition, really.
And I do wonder how being on LAN is going to affect some of the player mentality when you do have to try to make that bounce back. Can you go rely on one of your friends, see if they can actually help cheer you up? Or maybe you just want to try to go take your own space, take a couple of breaths. Maybe that's going to be the way that gets you back into it.
Did they start?
And this is something we have seen players do. You can actually chat with your kind of like your coaches between the games and have them figure out what you did wrong, maybe mentally reset you. So we have, you know, like I
I'll just take a look at
coming
this.
into with the players as well. He's a coach of a lot of these players, and
No.
they brought family, they brought different.
Yeah,
analysts.
I'm just gonna sit on
I think
Robin
that's an
POV.
aspect of the LAN environment that we might be able to see on stage.
Even we mentioned the prep groups, the study groups, what jungler with some of the Americas players, they might, you know, if they're in different lobbies, or in this case, I think the same lobby,
Yeah.
they can contrast some of what went wrong or right and analyze, you know, maybe they have the wrong meta read. Maybe it's time to, already after 1 or 2 games to realize, hey, this line is suddenly popping off, and maybe we should be playing this more, or playing less of this, for example.
Means that everyone's going to be on their A game. That's the sentiment that I'm getting from this conversation right now. But you got to remember that the same thing is also happening on the other side of the world. In Chengdu, we also still have that hub that's going to have all of our CN and APAC players on it. So they're also going to be putting their heads together to see how they can also be the best region in the world.
And a big storyline is the success of the Mandarin study group in APAC and CN. Flancy, Zumbai, and the 5 players from the TW server, all 7 of them in the same study group, all 7 of them made TAC round. So it's just the power of language. You know, time to brush up on your Chinese and get
That seems a little sus.
those tech in. So it's really cool to see these study groups.
They don't have that many slots.
Yeah.
It's an info-heavy.
Or, I mean, they do, but like,
with so many different interactions, it is
it's like a very narrow margin for all of them to make it.
Small little details to find edge on certain comps, and when you have other players of your same caliber working together, it makes that so much easier.
Really does. And we've already seen the power of that also throughout the Americas, where I love just like the cross-region representation that we've had now. I feel like that's been something that's really elevated our competitors throughout the last couple of sets, is how many of them can actually cross-pollinate, share ideas amongst EMEA, Americas, APAC. We've seen a couple of those alliances get drawn.
Especially helps when you're not really helping your competitors in your own region. You're able to prep with players of your same caliber from Americas, from other regions. So you're able to feel like you're not really giving other players that you're competing with the entire set an advantage. But then if you all end up qualifying a tech round, then it becomes a little bit more of a problem. I think day 2, there will be very little collaboration between White Jungler and other Americas players, for example.
Sim infighting, perhaps.
A little spying. We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, well, I didn't think about that too. But our eliminated players are also going to be still hanging out with us. So maybe they can also kind of scout, do some, you know, IRL testing and see kind of where it takes you. We're just taking a couple of moments to make sure that all of our competitors that are in Lobby 3, which is the one we will be following, are ready to go. So thank you so much for continuing to join us on this journey through the finale of K.O Coliseum. It's been an incredible set, though, and I'm just kind of excited to see how our players are going to adapt and show us the best of the best when the meta is as wide open as it is.
Yeah, I really think they did a great job with the meta at the end. It really landed in a very good place here. It's very, very open. As we said, the 4 costs are kind of going to be the dominant line going into this, but the AP rerolls have also been popping off. There's a lot of Janna rerolls that we're seeing. Katarina, even though it's nerfed, is still a great spot. I think if you're given one of those AP reroll spots, you're very comfortable. It's not a win-out spot, but you're happy to see them.
Well, let's go. I think we've got our competitors about ready to start. And so as we take a look at these heavy hitters on your screen, I think it's really hard to not call attention to just the veterancy in this lobby. You know, we do have a couple of new faces. YFTX, Lau, and Terry are all new to the Tactician's Crown stage, but that is made up for in spades when you take a look at this veterancy from YBY1, Lakoko, Robin Songs. They're all here for multiple Tactician's Crown appearances.
Yeah, both Ironbog and Robin Song as players who have won multiple championships.
Holy, Robin looks so old.
Already shows the pedigree there. I think the really nice contrast coming between Lakoko and YBY1. I think they are two of, if not the most complete TFT players in the modern era, in my opinion, especially players that haven't yet won a major title, which I think is one thing that's missing for these two players, but they are definitely among my favorites to do well in this competition. I would not be surprised to see both of them in the final lobby, but we'll see how they start off in this first game.
They are our most flexible players, and I just want to commend YB11 Split. This is probably the best, one of the best singles sets that we've ever seen a player do. He made final lobby all 3 times in the TPC and averaged a 2.7 rank in those events. It's absolutely crazy. He has the most pro points by 111. The next closest is double with 97, so he absolutely gapped the field right there.
And the only, I think, 2 players who have had maybe a more dominant domestic season in the past is Lekoko himself and Dishso back in set 13, where they, I can't really sugarcoat it, they smurfed on their regional competition the entire set, so consistent across every single cup and their regional finals as well. So it's a stacked lobby. I think it's going to be a great first showing to see what the meta looks like and to see just clean TFT at the end of the set where every player has really mastered all the different optimizations and lines.
I also want to point out that 5 of these players won a TFT Pro Circuit Cup, which is just kind of crazy to think about when you know that 11 made it here through that pathway. We've got half of them in this lobby.
What was the drafting strategy in this lobby 3? I just don't get it.
I'm telling you, Lau got picked, and then all of a sudden, it was just domino effect from there where Lau said, yeah, I'm taking all y'all down with me.
From my sources, Lau probably didn't know who Lekoko was. And Lekoko is probably the worst person to pick because he always picks a challenge. He picked double 61 last time, and this time he picked Robin songs. So that chain of events was kind of disastrous for everyone. I hope they feel okay if they place a little bit lower in this lobby. This is the hardest one.
I think it's illegal not to know who Lekoko is at this point in time with his career, but maybe they will find out the consequences after this game 1 rolls around, because some players I think just want to watch the world burn Necra, and we will see, I think, a chaotic display of talent in this game 1.
We talked about our flexible players in Lekoko and YBY. I want to point out Ironbot because he has the highest first place rate amongst the field right here. If you look at his placement distribution, it is a U-shaped. He's first or 8th. He loves beelining for those just first place compositions in the Strategist Varus, in the Crystal Ashes. And he's such a great contrast, I think, to someone like Lekoko. Lekoko's prep is very flexible. He plays all the compositions, plays the most comps in the field, while Ironbog focuses on the best comps.
I'm wondering how Ironbog is going to do, though, because as you both have pointed out through our meta breakdown, Fast 9 is not as easily accessible in this particular patch, and Ironbog was the Fast 9 Pro. A lot of those first places ended up coming from being able to beeline to level 9 and just slot in all the legendaries on your board.
I think historically, though, Ironbog is a very strong 4-cost player. I think this is how he was first introduced, at least to me, on the competitive scene at elite level, especially in TAC round. So I think he'll feel comfortable. I think he is maybe a little bit behind YBY1 and Lekoko in terms of being just so flexible and knowing so many different lines. I think today and tomorrow we might see more of a top 4 approach. But if Ironbog makes it to day 3, I would be extremely scared. He had a 27% win rate. I think the number 1 player with win rate in the field is set. I think Travis is the only player a little bit close to him at 25%.
I think all the other games started except for this one.
Definitely a tight end when it comes to actually winning games.
50% of his games, he either goes first or second. So it's just insane what he does at the elite level. And I do want to point out for the strategy, a lot of players, Bastion Legendaries is considered the best Fast 9 line. So a lot of players are just going to be beelining in that direction. And if they don't have the gold to hit, then they'll just transfer that Shojin and Infinity Edge to play the Bastion Edgelords line that has recently been popping up a lot in scrims. So it's try to get Seraphine. If you don't get that, you can play the Samira.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. But when it comes down to maybe some of the clash of styles that we're going to see, there's 3 players in particular that stand out to me that will be very good at being able to access those 4-cost lines, or that has been their tendencies in the past. You mentioned Ironbog, but what about Bensack as well as Robin Songs? 3 players in our lobby that are historically very good at being able to play across the board with those 4 costs.
Bensak, I want to talk about him. We haven't talked about him yet. He's a player who I think has had the most meteoric rise across the last 2 sets in terms of the biggest improvement in overall performance and consistency from EMEA. He's a player who made his first tack round last set. He's already back for a second one this set. And you mentioned it, Nekra. Last set, Robin and Bensak were both the Vanguard marksman players, the players that were always gunning for this top 4. They were so consistent at doing so, and they both finished quite well in that day 2 finale. So I think we're going to see a similar playstyle from them in day 1 and 2. The big question is, can these top 4 oriented players flip that switch in day 3? I know Cambly last set had a big problem doing this on the final lobby and ended up placing near the bottom of the standings. That's the big question. Can you transition into becoming a more complete player when the game and the format requires it of you?
Yeah, it's going to be tough. And I think, like, to your point about just the clash of styles and or flipping the switch, I kind of wonder as well how it's going to fare when you know that you actually have some pretty good re-rollers in this lobby as well. So while we said Robin Songs, Bensak, Ironbogs, you're going to be very good about being able to play around those 4 costs, you have to look at someone like YBY1 who's very good at 2 cost reroll, Terry who loved the veteran and the Janna rerolls from this regional finals, and then Lakoko who has just been lights out on the Monster Trainer reroll lines.
Yeah, those reroll lines, they're pretty hard to get. You have to kind of have the game sort of give them to you. But if you find them, you're so happy. They're very safe in getting those top 3s. I think veteran Janna, especially for 15.8, is the biggest improver in terms of reroll lines because there's just less Crystal players taking away your Jannas. So we have seen a meteoric rise in terms of the AVP for that line specifically.
And that's the beauty of this patch. Every playstyle is favored to some extent. Every playstyle is a possibility. We had some patches this set where reroll was very clearly the top way to go when it comes to the Janna reroll in some patches. We had in the past with Kaisa also being very dominant in some patches. Then we had Fast 9, we had Mighty Mech be one of the strongest lines. But we are finally moving in.
Let's get started. Game 1 of the Tactician's Crown on the main broadcast. And we've got Yuumi to start things off. So let's see what's in store for us as it's gonna
off.
Okay, so Narpair, sword. R2, there's also it doesn't really matter what he picks up. This trash is. This shop is not very good. Locks. Ew. I mean, yeah, this is the best opener he has, even though he has no upgrades. I mean, he just sells. He has Shojin, so I mean, he has a decent slam for this. Yeah, it's probably like it has to be Shojin slam. Hmm. I mean, what would you play with Treasure Hunt? Oh, he is considering it. Oh, that's probably his prize fighter. Oh, he's going treasure. Oh, is he gonna reroll? That would be interesting. He's not leveling, but he is fruiting for some reason. Not leveling, so just he is rerolling here. Because he has a lot of trash on his bench that he can sell. If star rating is definitely stronger now. So he didn't slam an item. I wonder what he's actually angling. He's holding on to these Aatroxes. Like, I mean, I guess it's just Malzahar, but I mean, he's greeting the tier. And I feel like, I mean, I guess he doesn't care about streak. I mean, how many people are gonna play Malzahar? Like, isn't this also Malzahar? That guy looks like they're either Soul Biter or just Fast 9. Well, I mean, yeah, he can make 40, so I guess he doesn't really care about streak at this point. GS not bad, Bramble not bad. I mean, technically he doesn't have to play Malzahar. He can play like Smolder or something. It's the same front line, so... What is this? Oh, worth the wait, Zach. There's also Malzahar. Or it's the same... No, it's a different... No, like everyone's just Malzahar. I mean, Coco spot is for sure Malzahar. Oh no, he doesn't know what learn from the best does. Tiny Tim. Oh. What are you playing here? He's rolling down. Oh. That makes sense, I guess. I forgot that that's a comp. That's her and Jenna. Oh. Two J4s and a Cassante. It's kind of illegal. Oh, he sold the Senna. I guess the Senna doesn't really matter yet. Like the Ziggs is more valuable than Senna plus Mech. I don't know if that's really correct. But well, this here many Team X30. Formentor. Kabuko Unleashed. And he pops off the crown to see if there's backline access and if Jan's threatened or not. My best defense kick. It's too nerfed. Well, hopping a Bramble as your only tank item is pretty good against this board. And Robin only has 3 Jannas, so and 3 Kobugos. I mean, his spot isn't that great. And he has the dupes. Spat. Strategist spat. Not bad. He kills the cloak though. Yeah, I think you just send it for Janna. 1 Janna. One Janna. Uh, yeah, I guess I can go into Rise. Components are kind of awkward though. Water Lotus isn't bad here. Invested isn't. Oh, yeah, no, I think I like Water Lotus here. Okay, he has Janna 3. I mean, for components, he just needs to kill these items. Like, you can look for Steadfast. And what the sword is, I don't know what the sword is going to be. I mean, this sword probably has to become Rise item. Pretty good items on the J4. Specifically, Declaw. Yeah, okay, I think he gave up on the Kabuko. Whoa, it's my Bastion board. Kabuko, okay. With the component you want. But you already sold some of the. Yep. Wait, which board is he afraid of? That he's removing the. There's no Kali players. What backline is he worried about? I don't know. This game's looking pretty good for Robin. He's gonna fall off soon because he doesn't have Kabuko 3, but. Ooh, that's a good one. That crown was very heavy. That Mel's 3? No, that's 6 Mel's. I mean, Gunblade isn't bad. You just make Warmogs move strategist to someone else. I mean, Haley's holding it now. What's end? I mean, yeah. I mean, you could have kept the Yone and played that on 9. I mean, or even played it now. You have Gunblade, What's End, Yone, which is not bad. Okay, that's a nerf diff. I think Robin got his top 4. Okay, YFTX hits mouse 3, so that means Coco probably won't. Interesting, he's has the thing on the like he's giving the bonus to the Mac over like the J4. And it could just be that he prioritizes having the J4 and the Kabuko next to each other. Okay, yeah, this board is a little too strong now. That's just what Barris 9-5. Yeah, well that's outcapped. Yep, everyone hits now, so hello. I'm doing alright. Okay, well that's like pretty much everything you'd have wanted. Wait, you kept the RFC on the rise over the Void Staff. I'm doing okay. Yeah, let's see how Robin's board gets stronger. He kind of should have just held the extra copies of Kobuko. And if someone else dies, Robin, I think, still has 2 lives. So it's possible to steal a second here. Yeah, at this point, he just had the... Okay, yeah, I mean, maybe he gets that. It helps a bit. Sure, I guess. This is... Well, okay, Jenna didn't get stunned. Doesn't really matter, but should live. Okay, Terry's dead. But one... Okay, it's the third. It's a third. What's up? I can't actually see anymore. I run bug with the Varus board. I actually wasn't paying attention to what YPO1 was playing, other than the Fast Night board, but which variant, I'm not sure. Hmm. Okay.
Or to the final lobby at Tac Crown. The player that we mentioned, maybe this set he was a bit more risky, a bit more first or eighth, but I think he made the perfect example of what Fast 9 will look like from a dominant position. You win streak early, you have a very strong high value board in stages 2 and 3, you sacrifice all the HP you preserved in stage 4 with Crystal Gambit, you get that extra resources from Scuttle Puddle and from Crystal Gambit as well, and you make it to 9 with just an unstoppable board.
And this is what we're going to see in a lot of these lobbies. The reroll player's job is to break those streaks. Yep. You can't let Ironbog get a 10 win streak in stage 3. Unfortunately for our heavyweight players and for Robin Songs, they're a little bit low roll on that sense. So that's why Ironbog was able to run away with it.
Yeah, but still cool. And I think that's going to be a big test of strength for a lot of our competitors is can you also keep up with some of the different regional strategies that exist here? I mean, we talked a lot about lobby tempo, need to read that really well, but also try to figure out like how can you actually preserve your spot if it really doesn't go the way that you want it to.
I will say Scuttle was maybe the big reason why that lobby was a bit of an outlier. I think it's not the usual lobby tempo and the usual complexion of comps we'll be seeing. I think making it to Fast 9 is much more difficult, we talked about. It's much more selective, I would say. Players have to opt in, and only from a high roll spot can you go Fast 9. Usually players will take a plan B and go more for Volibear, for Samir in stage 4 instead. But with Scuttle and so much extra gold, everyone said, you know what? I can go Fast 9 as well. And you too, and you too. So it was a pretty scary board in stage 5.
Yeah, but for the 5th player that tried to go Fast 9, not you. You don't have enough champions anymore to make it there.
Terry was where we drew the line with his like 80 gold coming into stage 6.
Oh, poor guy. It's just tough because I think like that is another problem that we did kind of see happen in the lobby is that if there are multiple players that you know are gunning to level 9 and they're rolling before you, all of a sudden there are no TFs left. There's only 9 copies. So if there are 3 other players in front of you that have the TF3, like you got to figure out a different champion to pivot to.
And that's the important thing about Fast 9 comps. The best ones can use a lot of different legendaries. You know, like the Bastion ones, they're happy with TF, with Zyra, with Braum. But other Fast 9 compositions like the Sorks, where only using Gwen, only using Braum, they kind of fall behind because they're just not having the Noxus Trap on their board. It's much harder for them to get those 5 costs online.
I think there's clear favorites, especially with frontlines as well. We saw the Coco forced to play into the heavyweight, which is I think the 3rd best frontline for Fast 9 as a whole. Also could not pivot into full heavyweight with Malzahar because YFTX was going down that line. So in the end, stuck between a rock and a hard place due to his augment selection, which is usually very good worth the wait. I think you have so many options to play around. A bit low roll in this game 1 and a 7th place for a player that I mentioned I think is one of my favorites. So we kind of maybe curse the Coco because I said, what if one of these favorites goes 7th or 8th in game 1? How do they bounce back? This is the real test for me of an elite player in TFT, and I'm very curious to see how the Coco comes back in game 2 and in the rest of the games today to, at the very least, I hope not end up in the bottom 8 because we will have a cutoff after this day 1.
I'm so glad that Panda owned up to the curse and it wasn't you or me, Clement. Let's go!
I'm just a good person, trying not to throw you guys under the bus and blame you all for my region's downfall. Again.
To be fair, I think this was just a really rough lobby, and as you said, I think Coco is a player that likes to kind of roll with the RNG, you know? He's not a player that on game 1 is going to skip worth the wait. For my study group, a lot of them are looking at these more high RNG augments, and they're just saying, I don't want to deal with this. I don't want RNG to kind of bring me down mentally, so I'm just going to pick for something that I know is going to be very stable.
I think Bensak also a bit unfavored in terms of aura farming. I think it's a risky pick. He had a Nard too. I think he could have played more of a win streak, ended up losing a lot of HP, and then once the Zyra 2 came online, yes, it was a 4 win streak in stage 4, but everyone else pivoted their boards into Fast 9, 2-star 5 costs all across the board. He was not really able to hang with the 6 Juggernaut front line with just Ashe and the Volibear, not quite the same cap, and ended up going out in 6th. In a normal lobby that's not Scuttle, I think his game would be very different.
Yeah, it was a 4-way contest on the Twisted Fate. Really couldn't pivot out of that 4-cost carry. But is this deja vu? Are we going to get another puddle?
No, we're going to highlight.
Oh,
Don't
sorry.
worry. Don't worry. We actually just
Clement takes the first bait of the day. I'll take the curse, you take the bait.
Made Clement's heart skip a beat for a second there, but don't worry, it's just looking back on some of the highlights from our first game on the main broadcast and kind of reliving some of those memories with pictures instead of just what we're saying.
Great win streak opening coming in from Ironbog. He gets the 3 mecha opening with the Udyr onlines, one of the strongest starts that you could look forward to. Takes that into a 10 win streak into a combat augment on 4-2. So his game plan was solid throughout.
I think the big upside and the reason why Ironbog and YBY1 finished in the top 1 and 2 is because their gold augments are not really meant to be full combat power and tempo in stage 2. They're more scaling gold augments that you give combat power across the rest of the game, but you only get the full value later on. Despite this, Ironbog was still able to win streak, so this really shorts up the gap where you are kind of cheating the game in terms of having a huge win streak, then you get more and more power from your pumping up as well, and then you completely dominate the rest of the field in stage 5.
And we're going to see this a lot. When you have a 10-win streak, you can afford to go with that 6-loss streak on Crystal, get cash out afterwards, and have a very, very strong board. Even though it was nerfed, it's still the best way to play a high cap line. Taking a look across the other lobbies, YBY1 with his artifacts were just also really cool to see. Really good to see Mana run.
I just realized that something actually we didn't mention during the cast. YBY1 did end up reforging the Gambler's Blade. He got the Silvermere Dawn. That's the way he got it. So we mentioned it was going to happen at some point, and I think you mentioned in Necra, he probably waited till that stage 5 PvE round to do so, and I don't think he had the blue buff beforehand, and maybe he was able to get that perfect itemization with the Silver Mirror, BT, and blue buff on the Lee Sin, which helped him make that top 2. So just the little details is what separates players in this stage in TAC Crown, where everyone has such a clear understanding of the meta, of what lines to play into.
Whoa, I got an update from one of our correspondents, Hope-san, on the floor. Shaco won Game 1, Lobby 2 with Jinx and Volibear with 4 Bastion and 4 Luchador.
I imagine there was not Scuttle Puddle in that lobby, because that sounds quite a bit lower cap.
I probably agree with you, but that's so cool.
I don't think I've heard of a 4 Bastion, 4 Luchador comp. That's crazy. Wow.
I think it's the lower cap version of what you're trying to reach with slotting in more legendaries, but I think it's pretty strong. In a low cap lobby, Volibear 2, Jinx, especially with the right combat augments, something like Tiny Terror, for example, I think you can really take over a lobby.
Yeah, that's such an interesting... I can't wait to see his board and what he's been cooking off. And just to mention this, I think Star Guardians with Jinx should be the default composition for a lot of our players. This is the most common comp that we've seen across scrims. And here we go into points.
Okay, wow. So at the bottom here, we can see our players that did get an 8th in that first game, only accumulating 1 point.
No,
and
Marcel.
It's kind of weird to see like Flancy down there, Marcel P as well. As we move towards the standings, you'll see the players that are kind of on the better side of things.
Tough start for CN. 7 of their players in these first 2 pages, so they have to definitely bounce back over there in Chengdu. In Game 2, reset that momentum going forward. We're now going to move up towards the middle of the pack of your players who maybe stick to what you've been doing on those 4th and those 5th places. Consistent showing for a lot of their players.
And now we're finally seeing some of the APAC players. You can show up even later. It's okay. I don't quite mind.
I think you've got it, Clement. I think they're going to be on the next couple of pages as well.
Not many America's players seen so far either. You know,
that's also good for us. Wow.
CNB proving that he's should deserve a lot more respect out of the Brazilian region. And EMEA, there you go.
4 players. Tomino on his TAC Crown debut, the first Slovakian player to make it to the international stage, starting off very hot with the 2nd place, alongside Double as well, one of the big favorites. But we're seeing here the big winners in Game 1. Also some big winners from regionals like T2 starting off with the 1st place. And the Zeta Division, unstoppable when it comes to the TAC Crown. Yatsuhashi with a 1st place as well after this Game 1 concludes. And Michael, who Hoop-san interviewed, and Michael said, I'm feeling confident, I want the games to start. Now we see why. He was ready for this Game 1.
JD Zielinski also getting the GeoGuessr buff from the beginning of the day.
No nerves for these debut players like Tomino, like JD Zielinski.
Yeah, but Gobo at the very top there, getting in 1st place. Great for EMEA to see that. And I just love that for Brazil, though, especially for Shaco getting that 1st to start the day.
I think for me, it's the new faces from the Americas just doing so well. Shaco and JD Zielinski coming here. I think they deserve a huge shout out. A lot of questions about, hey, maybe they just got in because it was only one regional tournament, but they're here to silence the critics.
And Gobo, I love to see this because regionally in EMEA, he's a very, very strong player. His TAC Crown performances in the 2 sets he's qualified have not been the strongest, and we didn't really know why. Was it nerves? Was it adapting to the tempo and just the strength of the lobbies in the TAC Crown stage? But I think this is a big part of him now shifting that momentum, is starting off with a win or a top 4 at the very least in the 1st game. So I hope to see peak form Gobo in this TAC Crown. I hope to see him showcasing his ability to the rest of the world, where all of our EMEA fans have already seen him perform at this level regionally.
So exciting, as that's just our 1st game of the day. We still have 5 more to bring you, and then at the end of today, we will see the bottom 8 players eliminated. But yeah, I love how cozy everyone's getting. Everyone's getting locked in, cozy on the desk here, and we see our players ready for that 2nd game.
We saw Tartman there. I think maybe he thought he was playing a poker tournament, but we're playing TFT Tartman. Tartman, of course, I urge our viewers to keep an eye out for him on camera because I think a lot of the international viewers first got to see him at Vegas in particular. He went very, very deep in that field and had the best facial expressions on his cam every time we went to him.
All right, for game number 2, we're going to be following Lobby 4, and this is where we will get a chance to see if maybe Marcel P can rewrite that 1st game, try to stabilize, or if we will be able to see another elite performance from Chi2X after that 1st game. We're going to get the Zyra encounter.
Look at the field here, Double, one of the favorites for the tournament, just 1 second.
They did not update this. I just have to guess.
Power you can get on
Okay,
14,
maybe not.
things like invested to be
I
one
guess
of
I'm
those
just
crutches
talking
to
live.
make it to 9. Max cap no longer in the game, so the
Oh,
3
sorry.
coffee rollers won't have that crutch themselves.
Ooh, opportunity here to just get an Aatrox 2 right away.
But I'm still watching the... No. Gathers. Actually, I could have just muted. Prismatic Destiny. Holy potato quality. Dawncore. That's just mouse of her. Lichfiend Ginsu's. A weird slam. Given that you have a Lich Bane. I mean, against this pretty much just means TF. I eat Nashers. Oh, that makes sense. I forgot that that was a thing. Katarina. Kind of over Kaplan crit. None of these are very good. It's Pyro. I have to dig really deep. So it doesn't even have the veteran in. That's unfortunate. Hmm. I think I heavyweight Ramus. The big armadillo. There's a world where you can crown that mouse, the Ramus. It's just body change. Oh, so that guy's being Soul Fighter, but they sent Kraken. I mean, okay, that's for Volibear then. Okay, never mind, that's not weird. Oh, he's waiting to see what he actually gets from wolves. Oh, I would pop it immediately, but I feel like it's probably smarter to wait. Because like here, okay, yeah, frontline, and you can make either. Some mana Zane AVP here. That's got to be something disgusting. Oh, okay. I guess he gets for free. Yeah, that guy's kind of scary. What is Marcel even playing? I got fast. That looked like a Star Guardian board. Star Guardian, but to no Jinx. Holy, he is boned. What jungler is boned right now? Okay, there's Jinx. Okay, so this is, yeah, another Jinx variant. Oh, Edgelord. I mean, it's not that good. It's not bad either. I mean, there was probably better emblems to make. I mean, okay, that's the Seraphine, I guess. Default's still Cat 2. Basic is 5 Jannas. Also, is that Mess Hall? Oh, I mean, you got the cog. That's a Seraphine too. And okay, now he looks pretty strong. Oh. Marcel might be going 8th. Like, that spot looks awful. Oh! Okay. I guess Marcel goes 7th. Oh, you got Catter. Oh. Unfortunate. I mean, that's pretty good for default. You won that on Cat 2. Is this Ramos going in pants? Oh wait, Marcel's on a win streak somehow. I didn't even realize. I'm very surprised that that board is winning. Bastion, Juggernaut, Soul Fighter. Six Edgelord. Yikes. Rough game for EU. Oh, Marcel finally took a loss. Okay, Marcel's dead. I think he's fifth. Well, wait, what's Stacy playing? He's playing Janna, right? He's still Anna 2. That's crazy. The salvage bin, yeah. This being a fourth is crazy. I think might just be insane. That's a really good fourth. If this guy hits Ramus 3, he just wins. I mean, even without it, he's already probably at 1. But yeah, now it's just GG. He's never losing. Okay. Well, STheHero got second. Ooh, maybe not. Maybe it's the third. Let's see with cat jumps. Oh, that's not good. Oh wait, maybe it's okay. Okay. He messed up, but fortunately the Kog'Maw still didn't do enough damage and it got stuck. Okay. It's a good second. But yeah. W Meng was kind of locked first once he got the Mana Zane. He's very nice.
A little bit of a different meta over there as well, don't you? Between like JOC and TOC?
Yeah, I will have to admit I'm not very familiar with the meta, but I know that they're very reroll heavy. They like to play tempo, so that's what we should expect from Lawu, from people like Womong coming over from Chengdu.
And for Womong, the big difference there, I think, was look at stage 3. He had 4 open components, had the pan open, had 2 bows. Not sure where that was going. We thought his spot looked a little bit scary, but found a way to slam everything, basically coming into stage 4. And then the Rammus, especially with heavyweight emblem and the buffs coming in this last patch, showcases Rammus is not just very strong in double trouble Malzahar, but also in this traditional line with the emblem.
He can do it all.
Yeah.
Yeah, the 2 pans that he found were absolutely massive for him. Just gave him a lot of mana regen, gave him the extra HP going into it. So that's kind of the standard, one of the standard Malzahar lines we're going to see all throughout the weekend.
Isn't this going to be kind of like Mortdog's chagrin, though? Like fighting to keep Rammus out of the sets for so long, and now Rammus is, doing
You're
doing
gonna have
a
to
lot
stay
in this
around
last-
for the set 16, kind of reveals to find out if Rammus is still in there.
I
Wow.
think this last patch was, Rammus is buffed. Okay, thumbs up. And really good matchups as well against the two edgelord players, Double and Seal. We saw those matchups where Rammus was able to tank so much and survive that initial burst of damage coming in.
What's
from
funny is that
Thaira and
Mort's
Oliver.
best
So
friend,
a lot of things I think work
Malzahar,
out for that Malzahar Rammus board.
is being played with his
Reroll,
worst
so
enemy,
back in this
Rammus.
game two. We'll see how Game 3 fares and if we see more of a mix-up between Fast 9 strategies and reroll, and maybe Forecast finding a bit of a better light as well. Not quite working out in this game 2.
I think it's just amazing that we already have seen so many different comps between 2 games. Yes, I know the portal had a lot to do with that, but I just think it's just so cool. It gives me a lot of hope for what the rest of the day is also going to be able to give us in terms of
Yeah, it's a shame
what's
that
next? What
they had to wait
haven't
till
gotten a
the
chance
last
to
patch
see
of the set
Yeah, the field is just
to have
wide
an
in terms of
actually
compositions.
balanced meta.
The things I think we are missing, though, and I do want to touch on this, is the forecast AP lines. The Yumis and the Karma Sorks, a lot of players just simply avoid them because they don't have the same power necessarily as the AD flexible lines. But if you can find a way to make them work, that could be your outside chance. A lot of players are trying to develop those as playable situations.
Makes sense. I mean, but it is hard because I feel like especially with the sorcerers, you kind of feel like you're stuck in Gwen jail. Much like the Mighty Max sorcerers, you really do need the Gwen to actually cap out the board, and sometimes, I don't know, it just escapes you.
And you can't really bank on playing vertical source from a kind of loose streak position in stage 2 and 3 where you have little HP to work with, because once you get into these fights, like against this Rammus board, where you're not able to get the chain kills on the front line to get really the HP burst from the sorcerer kills, it's just a nightmare. You really have to prey on very weak front lines, which the meta has shifted near the end of the set towards much stronger front lines with Six Bastion, for example, both in the Kog'Maw and the reroll era, and now in the Fast 9 era as well. So I think sorcerers, for those reasons, has had a very tough time coming up into the meta, only from specific spots and I think specific players. I mentioned Dasik earlier. Hopefully at least one game this tournament he can play his source line.
Tamino would be another one with a lot of sort games. Lau is one of them. And if you really want to go into these lines, I'll just talk about the preconditions here, is that you do have to find the Sork emblem. If you do have that, we've seen Cambuli play it very successful over there. And if you have Locket Garen, then that opens up the Yuumi line.
All right, well, we do have, while we wait for our players to get ready for our third game, we do have a special interview with one of our guests from Riot. So, Hupe, tell us a little more.
Yeah, I'm here with Dylan, TFT Esport Lead for Tactician. Dylan, amazing an event. We're now here in beautiful Alicante. How does it feel to finally bring the face-to-face intervention here for the players?
Yeah, I mean, it feels great. It's super cool to see everybody in person, all the players talking to each other and discussing strats and kind of BMing each other a little bit, but also just cool to see the co-streamers on site and interacting with the players as well. The stage is beautiful, and the beautiful tack crown is there as well.
Nice. Can you tell us a little about the vision of TFT Esport, especially tack crown? What are your thoughts? What are you going for? And what is the expectation for next year's?
Yeah, I mean, the tack crowns have always been, about the celebration of TFT. Then also reintroducing, introducing the set, the new set to everybody. So we're kind of thinking of it as a celebration of TFT, and then going and looking forward. So we want to celebrate the mastery of the set, and kind of going forward into next year, we're looking to continue to find ways to expand TFT to more players, and allow them opportunities to compete.
Nice. I'll put you on the spot now. I want your pick, your favorite player to win it all, and it cannot be MEA. Okay, you can pick whenever you want.
It definitely wouldn't be EMEA. Yeah. No. I have to troll Max, our EMEA lead, but I watch a lot of Robin, so probably Robin. But I can't play favorites, but it's nice to see an old guy still be able to do it. He doesn't need as much APM as he might in League or Val.
Nice. Okay, so this is Dylan, Esport Lead for TFT, and we'll toss to a break and be back with more action in this TFT Tech Round.
Take a look at the score sheet. That's not the score sheet. No. Never mind, I forgot to leave that open. I'm gonna scan through my email to find it. I can do this.
Break down my walls, but I won't rise again. Cause I stand tall in my environment. How could I ever close my eyes and stay silent since they try to take
Okay,
me
so
down with their violence?
do them first. Umang Kabao Bao.
The human body was built to move.
Oops.
Not trapped at a desk in one singular posture for 12 hours a day. It's time your chair evolved. This is Secret Lab Titan Evo. Ergonomically engineered for you, gamers, hybrid workers, artists, backing your every move.
Welcome back, everyone, to the Tactician's Crown for K.O Coliseum in this wonderful venue in Alicante, Spain, with all the players here from Americas and from EMEA, but also with Jupeson joining us on the desk for these next two games, and also a bit of a breakdown from that last game. What's your first take on this last game? What's your first take on all the action happening here, Jupeson?
I mean, for the action, I have to say people are trying to go for that fast 9 as soon as possible with any excuse. Either a prismatic, either scuttle puddle. So anything that can give you that drive, that immediate economy push that's the way to go. And Shaco made it happen. We saw Cheetos also with good possibilities. So, I mean, if you can get there, that's the way to go.
Yeah, and we're just getting a recap of our previous game, and this was really weird because 3 EMEA players had upward mobility on 2-1. None of them took it. That's considered the best Fast 9 augment, so there's definitely some different reads on the meta going on here.
Maybe some regrets, because it was all about the reroll lines at the end of the game. The top 4 players all on reroll lines, especially Daystake with, I think, a miraculous comeback. Janet 2 most of that game and somehow still managed to top 4. I think there were some low rolls and contests from the 4 cost players, but we got to see very contrasting games in game 1 and 2. You're mentioning the Fast 9 with Scuttle Puddle, a little bit easier, and then the rerolls coming in clutch in game 2. I hope we see a lobby that has a bit of everything, right? The different lobby tempos kind of switching the pecking order of who is strongest from stage 3 to 4 to 5.
Yeah, also niche comp. I saw Michael just recently playing a good 3rd place with the crew. So normally not something we haven't seen a lot. You mentioned in the start, David, the possibility of playing KO. We haven't seen it yet as a great possibility, but of course, that is that niche comp that would you actually have the ideal spot, you can go for it.
If there's a niche comp I want to see work, it has to be the Kaisa. You know, Riot specifically buffed her on 15.8 to be playable. Haven't seen it just yet.
Clement,
There's a lot of conditions.
Don't be shy. We have to go deeper. I want to see a GP reroll with RFC.
The Gather Plank, let's go.
GP is in our minds for different reasons in this set 15, but hopefully he can clean that image with a more fair reroll line. And no stretchy arms in this case.
Yeah, I think that niche is too much, but the guys I love to see it. Maybe corner carry, one of the new augments also with possibility. Fishbone also. It's very particular, but I really think we will see at least 1 or 2 Kaisa games in this day 1.
We did see some players already favoring BT Kaisa, so maybe corner carry would be a smart way to do that. Looking now at the standings after just 2 games, but one key thing to mention, there is going to be an 8-player cut after the 6 games are done for day 1. Only 32 of our competitors will be moving on to day 2. So this page right here, you have to be feeling a little bit of that pressure, Clement.
Yeah, a lot of things going wrong for the CN crew here. 4 players in the bottom, especially Flancy and Zumbai, that were the favorites of that region.
7 players from CN among the bottom 12 players, so definitely a little cause for concern, but this is the TAC round stage. Hoopers, this is where players are so elite that they can easily bounce back from this little slump.
Yeah, previous champion here, double in middle table, also having good possibilities. Lekoko with a bad start and now ramping up with a 2nd place. And now a little more on the top, Dohua making good chances here as a good possibility. Go Boaster or Gobo started amazing, and the one in the front, the one who's looking so strong is Cetus.
Wow, it seems like a blast from the past. Both of these players are really long-term players. Cheetu, the last time he's been at TAC round and won a TOC, it's been 4 years ago, but now he's coming back into this stage. Best player after 2 games.
And the new generation of competitors as well on the international stage, at least Shaco and Tomino, 2 games in, coming now into that top 8 as well. Cambuli coming back into TAC round after having a great first performance last set with a final lobby appearance. Now also starting off hot across these 2 games. So really great to see all these new faces, not just the historic names, it's this new generation of talent in TFT who are not shying away from the spotlights, are not feeling any kind of nerves or pressure. It seems like they can hang with the big dogs.
I want to double down on that. I saw Tomino and Shaco just now, and they're perfect. They're the ones who feel more chill, maybe more cold-minded, so actually not receiving that pressure, and that's obviously in this LAN event face-to-face what can make the difference.
And the man here, Tartaman, still in your top 8. He actually had the worst performance in TPC out of the field, but if you looked at his pedigree, you look at how he did in previous TAC rounds, he was always in the top half, still proving that he shows up when it matters.
We were prepping the narrative. I told Clement, don't worry about it. Tartaman will show up on the big stage. He is the clutch player. He might not be as locked in smaller tournaments, but 2 TAC round appearances for Tartaman, 2 top 16, which is a very hard thing to do with how elite the competition ends up being with 40 of the best players in the world competing on this big stage.
Double there, doing some meditation. We see Wet Jungler on the side. Tomino there also, having a good chance here, taking some water in and just preparing for the next game. Here at the venue, Alicante, beautiful Alicante, Spain. The players are ready to start the next game.
Like to Travis during that break there, he said, how was your start? Not bad. It's okay. 1 and then 7. So kind of in the middle of the pack there for Travis. Travis is a player who, one of the best win rate players in the field, only behind Ironbog with a 25% win rate across this set. So he's a player who, if he makes final lobby, I would be incredibly scared, especially when he won the Battle Academia Cup at the very start of TPC this set. He played a lot of Varus Fast 9, that old iteration of the comp. He played it 5 times and won 4 of those games. 80% win rate on Varus Fast 9, so a very scary player when it comes to winning out.
Oh, and this is really fun. We get to see who was the best performer in each lobby after the 2 games here, and it's going to be YBY1 out of the Lobby of Death. We expected kind of that, and I think for a lot of people, Cambly winning Lobby 1 was probably not the most favored pick, but I have him as the best player out of Americas. I think the consistency speaks for itself. I'm a Cam fan.
Yeah, and with great consideration. Cam has done amazing. He's one of the uprising stars, back-to-back Tactician crown right now. And on the bottom, we mentioned Tarman playing strong, being amazing in both games, with good possibility. He had the sunglasses just to make sure that the lights are not affecting him. And Michael, double game, good games, difficult games to be sure. And in the end, getting the crew to work with also 13 points. A lot of people there in that second phase with 13.
Lobby 5 must have been very black and white. We're seeing 3 players with 13 points, so a lot of those other players in Lobby 5 probably had very bad starts with kind of 7th ace and just getting very few points. So those players will have to make a big comeback. In Lobby 3, the group of death that we cast the first game of Clement, not really the names we were expecting to see in the top 4. We have the new school with Bensak and Terry. Terry in his first ever appearance, Tech Crown, having a very good start as well with 11 points. So I think we're going to show it's not just about the experience coming to Tech Crown, it's a lot of it just how well these players feel across this entire set, how well they feel on this patch in particular, and no real nerves. We've seen some debuts that were very shaky in the past from some of our competitors. In this case around, all the newcomers seem to be doing really well.
Absolutely, and I want to shout out K.O, CMB, and especially the Brazilian players here. 3 Brazilian players coming to this TAC round, 2 of them ending up in the top half of their lobby. CMB, of course, won their regionals in a pretty surprising fashion, I would say, over K.O, another Brazilian anyway.
Also surprising?
Yes.
Also surprising.
Yeah, actually, K.O was the leader in points, but of course, Checkmate Foreman, CMB taking the win there. Both playing amazing, and Quintanilla, maybe the player, here it is, laughing, the reroll player. He's been talking a lot. He's a lot talkative there with the rest of the players, talking in English and just trying to make it work. Marcel, another one who is an uprising talent here from the Americas, looking strong. And of course, on the left, Double, the only one with the possibility of taking an additional crown right now, and with also good possibilities for now, looking on the shy side, maybe on the middle.
I want to mention Marcel, a very cool story, someone that came into TFT, at least competing at the elite level, with a very clear goal of, he had experience competing in other titles, came into TFT, said immediately, I want to put as much effort as I can into becoming the very best I can be. And we saw his journey starting off 3 or 4 sets ago with, good results, but nothing special, nothing elite. But set after set, he has improved and improved. A lot of great work ethic. Really has surrounded himself with some very strong coaches and players overall in the Americas region. And he's made it to TACCRON, obviously. He's won one of the first big tournaments in the Soul Fighter Cup in the TPC. So really marvelous to see these journeys where someone comes in a little bit cocky, a little bit confident, saying, I think I can be the best if I put in the work, puts in the work, and actually becomes one of the best players already in Americas.
And getting coached, like you mentioned, Asa was the coach on the start, and Asa mentioned recently that now Marcel is so good that he's the one coaching Asa, and of course, making it work there for them together. And now we're seeing a little of our core streamers, Snooty and Reven, making sure they have everything set up to recently or promptly start the next day.
No Spanish players attack round, but Michael, Spanish speaking at the very least, also has prepped a lot with the Spanish players across his set.
Hispanic community as a whole.
Community. And I guess they have more caster blessing powers than me, because Michael, a very good start after these first 2 games in a comfortable position. Michael, a player who we saw rise to fame really in set 8, Monsters Attack, had an insane run in Vegas. I still remember he had like 8 games in a row where he went either first or second, just incredibly dominant, and then couldn't quite make it to the final lobby there. But someone who hit a huge peak of form in the set 8 to set 11 era of TFT, a bit of a slump, came back into the pro circuits off of the invite slot, won the very first Pro Circuit Cup, Battle Academia Cup, against Cambly in this
super clutch fight where it's one auto attack separated the winner there and rode that momentum into a huge resurgence, a huge redemption arc in his career. So I'm really happy to see Michael here as, I think, historically one of the key representatives for the Latam region.
Yeah, the Niño Maravilla, or now as they call them, the Wonder Boy.
Oh.
So that's the nickname that the pro elite community has given to Michael. So good to see Benzak hearing so good music. What do you think he's hearing there, Panda? You know him. Any ideas?
Something French. I think France overall has a lot of different genres, a strong presence in the music scene, and I mean, yeah, he seems to be vibing hard, so it has to be French, I think.
He is vibing hard.
Getting second place in the group of death just behind YBY1 over Lakoko, over Ironbog. That's a huge accomplishment in itself. And I think that's the thing we need to pay attention to. How are the players going to adjust their playstyles? If they're on the bottom of the totem pole and they only like to play 4 cost, can they adjust to playing more higher risk and get themselves back above average?
Yeah, taking that first step is the most important, right? As you mentioned, Benzak taking a win or taking a good position here is just you break the possibility of, hey, I'm in LAN event, I'm on face-to-face, will I be able to perform? You start performing, you know you can keep going.
Also, you don't have to really readjust too strongly. It's just a 2-game sample size. Maybe the first game is Scuttle Puddle that really, changes the lobby tempo and the outcome of that game. Maybe we have, like we saw with Double and CL, where you just have these roll downs that don't quite work out for you, despite having a good game plan overall. So I think there's still a lot that can be checked out when it comes to the meta coming into this day one. I think players don't have to adjust too strongly in either direction. And the encounters can be so impactful. The starting augments, if it's prismatic or if it's gold, if it's silver. We haven't seen any silver starts yet, which just reduces the lobby tempo a lot, makes fast line way more difficult, for example.
I do want to give you some good news, Panda. So far, after our 2-game sample size, EMEA is the best region.
Okay, Clement, you're continuing your curse. I see I'm not going to believe it until I believe it, until we have 8 players from EMEA in the final lobby. Then
that's too hard, man. That's too hard, man.
Give me 4. I'll take 4.
You'll take 4, okay.
Coming back to the meta a little, it's amazing to see that. I mean, in regionals we have like a little more close meta.
Was it not
right
APAC?
Players are not looking.
That was actually in first.
An additional comp, or even a Stau. We're saying about there are players that are more.
Didn't APAC have 7 in the top 16?
They will do it. They have the auction. They're actually looking for the best spot according to the early game.
EU and NA only had 5.
Just get what the game is giving them and has a good plan for it are the ones who are actually
And not
outperforming.
like top 20.
Yeah, I definitely think if you look at the top players right here, for CN, they have to be happy. They have both of their circuit winners in the TOC and JOC in the top 3. That was very unexpected coming out for them. And remember, it's not just EMEA that's on a drought. CN has also been in a very prolonged hiatus since their Set 7 glory days.
There was a time in Set 7 or 8 that I thought, are we ever going to catch up to CN? But Americas took a big leap forward in that case with Replay starting it off in Set 8 in Monsters Attack, and then, of course, Dish Soap, Wage, and Iverson coming into the leads and really showcasing what an elite player can do consistency-wise across the last 6 or 7 sets. And CN now has to reprove their power and their dominance that we saw at the start of TFT Esports. Double won the very first, but then CN was just so strong.
And then they didn't want any additional one.
It's
dusty. That trophy is a little
rewriting
dusty.
history is my narrative for Step 15 KO Coliseum.
No, but yeah, similar to CN, as you mentioned, Clement, the possibility of bringing back the Garden of Dynasty, right? That possibility of getting that additional chance. Flancy, one of the players that is actually on that contest and doing very bad, at least on the first 2 games. And still, this is rap for sure.
This is French for sure. I think he wouldn't be so free-flowing if it was English, I think. Considering Benzak is representing France, of course, coming into this TAC crown. Mentioning as well, not just the regions, but the players who have been so close to glory. We have 2 runner-ups in this field with Chitu and What Jungler, famously in that Set 9 Terror Forge where he lost a title. In that super exciting game, we saw title, his first big win with the Earth legend back in the day. PTSD coming in for a lot of viewers, I have to imagine, from that last patch coming to TAC crown. But these are players who have been so close to glory. In What Jungler's case, a big step back, having to fight from Tier 2 this set, having to prove again that he was among the elites and considered among the top 5 players maybe in the world for a few sets, and go all the way from Tier 2 to TAC crown, of course, in between that, getting a spot for next set's pro circuit in EMEA. And having a chance now to maybe fight for another final lobby appearance must be huge in his 4th total appearance in the TAC round stage.
And doing it with confidence. He was like, okay, I couldn't make it to tier 1. I will make it right now. And we're now set for the next lobby. We'll be going for lobby 1 for this game 3, which is C2's, the point leader right now, looking strong, and a little of the rest of the players. A lot of APAC right now in this lobby, Clement.
Yeah, 4 APAC players coming into this one. I think Without You is probably the kind of sleeper pick that I have. He's generally considered the strongest out of the TW players, and he's not been very well known. This is actually his first set that he's been competing full-time. He used to have a job before that. I know it's a scary word, but so I'm really excited to see how he does. We have a big study group here alongside with Zembai and Flancy and all 5 of our TW representatives.
That being said, if you dug deep, you would know who Without You is because he finished 21st at both Vegas and at Macau, which is incredibly hard thing to do with how big the field of competitors are for the open events. And there is an element of variance as well that you have to overcome. So incredibly consistent showings from Without You in the past in these tournaments, knows what it takes to do well when there's a lot of high pressure, a huge prize pool, a lot at stake. And so I'd be extremely happy to see him pop off in his debut at TAC Crown. I think it's great to see another big player from APAC making a big mark on the scene.
Yeah, I want to highlight also Yatsuhashi here, taking the lead or against with Seda, maybe Tidal and Summertimer are there with him, giving energy and providing maybe a little of a Genki Dama here in this anime set to have some chance. And we weren't thinking about Yatsuhashi maybe as a leader or as someone who's favorite right now, but he's doing good. 9 points here, looking strong, playing good, so now a good chance to see him face-to-face and see him what he has to propose.
Imagine the pressure, though. Zeta Division, 3 titles among Tidal, and, well, 2 titles from Tidal, and also last set Summertimer win, of course. So Yatsuhashi has to feel a lot of pressure on his shoulders. He is actually an OG player, was here all the way back in the Fates Championship in set 4. But we're moving in now to game number 3. The chance for some of those players in this lobby with the lower points like Sheepstick, like Bai, to try and come back into it.
And I love the spread of players that we have. We do.
He's not holding Callista. That's interesting. Okay. Wait, he's 5 kills. And he's a Ginsu. He's not rerolling protagonist. I don't know why that took so long. Build a bud. Prismatic Destiny. Well, that's pretty good tempo. You also have upgraded front liner. I mean, okay, this is just Fast 9. This is Katarina. This is, I mean, in Priz Lobby, like, more than half of the players are gonna be Fast 9. And Benzak chose to take Soul Fighter. Which is interesting, but he's not streaking. Three items already. That was upward mobility plus Crystal Gambit. You can go for a... I mean, I don't know how big of a cash out he's gonna go for, but you can go for like a decent one. It's all made of smolder too. Wait, did this guy get a fawn from expected unexpectedness? I mean, that's kind of crazy. Forward thinking. I mean, the guy has every upgrade. Wait, is he just pump? No, it's just gonna be a Cogmo. Where's Overheal? I mean, if they were Cogmo, it would slam the Archangels. Or maybe just Zaya. Yeah, it's probably just fast line. Oh, am I kidding? It's definitely fast line. I don't know what I'm saying. It's Pres Lobby. Oh, it's all out. Unstoppable. The fruits that I got nerfed into the ground. Oh wait, is he actually playing Yumi? I guess for now. And I feel like later it's better to just pivot into like Bastion Seraphine. And you can actually keep the Syndra. And you can actually just play 6 Bastion plus like Syndra, Yumi, Seraphine. Would like to see them do that. I mean, this is just TF forward. Front line looking a little weak though. Where's the Poppy? Never mind. Lyanna. Yeah, it's not going on this board. Gobator is playing Ash. Forward thinking, very mighty. I mean, okay, for forward thinking, like, he's really healthy. And he has the TF. Okay, yeah, his spot's insane. Kind of just hit most things. Or Juggernaut, or Bastion. Weird champ. Oh, that was very close. He's committed to standard Yumi board. I feel like that's not correct. I mean, he's holding the other Bastions, though. Let's see what the cash hook, or how big of a, how many stacks I can get. Oh wait, they did hit Daya. Oh. TF2. Or does it not want the Zyra? I feel like Chief's just gonna fall off now. Benzak. Extra for Luchador. Yeah, sniper board gone. Keepstick coming with a third. Seems like. I guess the two highest cap boards are Juggernaut and Crystal Gambit. I mean, really nothing to say here. Crystal Gambit, he hit everything super early. Hit every upgrade in like 4-2.
Board 10 seconds in, which is maybe a 1 in 1,000 chance of that happening with the right positioning. In the end, Gobo, a big win for Aegis as well for the teams representing. Did very well in 4v4 this year as well, so Gobo has to feel happy with set 15 overall. He's performed both individually and in a team setting, and a great start to this day one.
That's not going to be a common sight for the 5 Crystal Gambit Ashe lines. Typically in the meta read, you actually fall behind if you don't hit the correct cash outs. You need the duelist emblem and you need the strategist. If you hit the other 50%, then you just tend to fall behind on the fast 9s. So both players coming in with extreme luck, and holding hands now in 1 and 2. We have our tournament favorites starting to shape up.
Yeah, some players trying to play tempo there with Soul Fighter maybe not working to get the additional ramp up. But I mean, players trying to play Billabot, for me, impressive, and getting that additional angle, finding the Yumi. So, I mean, players are still open to that flexibility within the meta, looking for some options that give you that additional advantage and maybe get 1 or 2 places that will make the total difference. Remember, this is not like ladder. In ladder, you get 5th, and you're not happy here. 5th normally is a good placement. It's only 1 point away from 4th.
Depending on what my LP is, I might be happy with the 5th, to be honest. But I think, yeah, the elite level competitors like the ones we're seeing here on stage definitely wouldn't be. I think you mentioned that Hoopus on Flowers to Sheepstick. He needed a big comeback. Not some even, with points as well, but also just mentally a reset, going 8th in the most important tournament of the set and maybe your career as well is a tough thing to come back from. I think he played a really good game with the Syndra 3 from Build-A-Bud, and maybe it's the start of the heroic comeback. We've seen at the record, Clement, someone with 24 points can come back and still make final lobby. We saw it back in set 8 with Tech Summers and his Laser Core Warwick's performances. So maybe we'll see the same from Sheepstick.
That would be incredibly exciting. It's getting harder for players to come back because the cuts are so tight. You don't get 6 games to come back anymore. You get 2 to kind of make yourself back into the lobby. So you have to turn it on a dime.
Yeah, and just remember, this is day 1, so 8 players will be eliminated at the end of today. And now, once again, the winner Gobo, full legendary line here, full Crystal Gami, and we can see everyone, at least the important units, all itemized.
We have a very different lobby complexion right here. The 2 re-rollers in the lobby holding hands on 7 and 8. This happens a lot when you have more players going for the Fast 9. The lobby slows down, there's less cards being taken out of the pool, and just paying attention to that is going to be make or break for a lot of these players.
Yeah, I'm very surprised by once for Xayah reroll.
I came into Xayah reroll off of 50 HP with the Mogul's Mill Gambler's Blade start. Was not in a dominant position. Jaslade started off good in stage 3, had 3 wins in a row, but then just couldn't find the right spikes in stage 4, fell behind heavily in HP, did not tax the Fast 9 players like Gobo as well, and they were able to easily make it to 9, cap out way higher than they would otherwise.
Yeah, and also it wasn't Fast 9, it was slow 9. They actually went to level 8, started rolling, stabilized deeply on level 8, rolling even to true 0, and then after they punished those reroll players, they went to that level 9 and finally taking a good position, especially Gobo. So good to see that type of not going all in, not being full greedy, just trying to stabilize and then going forward.
Seeing Holy Thoth, our Turkish co-streamer here in the venue. It's so great to see not just all the players competing from Alicante, Spain, but also all of our co-streamers setting up their positions in the venue, having the first-hand experience to experience the Tactician.
Yeah, and we do have Froden with Broseth here, also cheering for their America's boys, I imagine.
Yeah, having fun. Obviously, I was hearing them on the end, just looking for that angle, analyzing the best plays here from the game. 2 of experts here from the Americas coming up here to Alicante to broadcast directly. Bensak here taking the loss. And finally, Cheetos highlight once again, playing strong, taking a great 2nd place, and should still be our leader in points that we'll see promptly.
G2, probably our biggest competitive streamer coming out of the CN region. He has a huge fan base. He's been going strong for 4 years without stop, and I really want good things to happen for him because he's been one of the hardest workers. He streams the most hours out of any of the players right here. For him, this is a comeback and a start of perhaps.
Give me a number. Normally, streamers are in 120, 110. If there are decent streamers, you have a number for Cheetos?
What do you mean 120, 110?
Per month. Hours per month.
Oh, hours per month.
Yeah. Normally, average in a streamer.
He's like a morning streamer,
okay,
and at least like 8,
okay,
like probably like 40 hours a week. Something like that is like actual real job.
So streamer. 160, yeah, that's
something like that.
A lot higher than average. Okay. Now I'm so fresh here. Our French co-streamer also looking at the table here, looking at the French also with good possibilities. Bensak probably one of the ones.
A lot of options if you're a French co-streamer because we tend to have a lot of French players qualifying at Tactician, of course, the most dominant country in the EMEA region with always some of the perennial favorites like Double 61, Coco now on his 5th Tactician appearance, 3 in a row as well. Double was the only player up until this set to have done 3 in a row for EMEA, showcasing a lot of consistency. The Coco had, I think, 7 and 8 in a row, then a bit of a gap, and now 3 in a row in this kind of modern era of TFT. And the Coco has really climbed up alongside YBY1 as these really complete players who just know all the tech, all the lines, all the optimizations. They're really happy to take risks because for them it's not a risk. They know the lines, the fringe lines so well that they can you know, go into anything that looks like a good spot and still perform.
Yeah, that calculated risk that TFT players know they should have. Toshi right now representing the Brazilians. The Cadeirada Mundo, I remember one of the most. We haven't seen that many hero augments here. So Toshi just coming here, making sure Quintanilla, Sheiko, they have that possibility of being represented. CMB also regional finalist and winner of the Americas. And of course, Toshi, one of the biggest streamers of all America. And of course, the biggest one in Brazil for TFT.
Game 4 going to start very soon. The halfway point for this very first day of competition. The chance for players to mentally reset, to reorganize what their goals are. Some players maybe coming in very cocky, very confident, could have had a bad start and have to say, hey, I am not immediately playing for final lobby. I instead have to play for surviving. We saw it with someone like Sheepstick, for example. Yep. Players who maybe came in a little bit less confident, a little bit more nervous, maybe have popped off across these first few games and now saying, hey, I'm good at TFT. I have what it takes to play for final lobby. I'm going to readjust. I'm going to play more confident, more cocky coming into game 4.
After the first half of the day, I typically think this is the best situation for your high cap players to start playing like scavengers, because you know there's a lot of players on the bottom of the pool that have to go for the fast 9. They have to go for the fast cash out, or their tournament is just over. So you have a steady forecast line, you can just ride it to the end.
Yeah, I don't like the scavenger term. I prefer humble TFT.
Humble TFT.
Humble TFT, trying to go for that top 4 in whatever way possible. And if you have to just grit it out and bleed it out, that will be the impression. So Voucher versus Humble TFT here. Lobby 4 will be the next one.
I thought we only had maybe one 20-point player, but Tamino, kind of an unexpected hero for the EMEA, also on 21 points.
Has really popped off across the last 2 sets in particular. In TPC has been one of those heavy Star Guardian players across the entire set. Found so much stability alongside players like Experian, like Double in EMEA, playing a lot of Jinx.
There's 5 EU
really
here.
Showing here. No nerves whatsoever. First ever TAC round appearance. 3 regionals in a row in EMEA, so like Bensack has been one of the fast risers in EMEA and has quickly become an elite player. Representing Slovakia as well, a country that doesn't have many other competitors. Much harder for him, I think, to prep with top players as well. But doesn't matter. Lone Wolf vibes and big player results here. 21 points in 3 games.
5 EMEA players in this lobby. Which one will come
No!
out?
Yes! Trainer Golems is the answer to our questions, Hupeson.
Star
And it
Guardian.
couldn't be any other way. With Necra joining us, it's all her fault.
I am back at the perfect time to be able to see the Trainer Golem game, and I'm so excited. And you guys are not, I understand.
Yeah. So that's it. Don't have much to work with. I mean, that's not bad. That's not bad at all. Mr. Crystal. Tell me. Just playing the Varus. Or not even, you could just play Casante and then Ash. Grab bag? Ew, what is this? Okay, well, I guess that's what that is. You're just playing down to. Oh, yeah, that, like I had like a Yumi board. This is another Star Guardian. Except it's slightly better. And then Sniper. Oh, this one's kind of weird. Right, there's like literally zero overlap apart from like I mean you have the soul fighters. I guess you were playing that. I mean that's not bad. I don't know why you. I don't know. I feel like I never take, especially when you get dummy isn't even bad. Your golem. I never took the dummy there. If I mean Tamina already took a loss though. I'm gonna say a loss would be bad there, but I used both dupes and they aren't even win streaking. That's just a Soul Fighter dummy. That's like a really, really good Soul Fighter dummy. Wait. Oh. You Shen augment. Pause.
For him. He will be the one from bottom to down. And Sanjop, the only one for a win streak so far, and still maintaining strong middle of the table for him.
Very interesting lobby composition as well. 5 players from EMEA. They obviously know each other very, very well. Some of these players have been playing for, well, a very long time, all the way since set 1 for players like Daysig, players like Double. And they've all been playing together in the pro circuit, of course. So a lot of different lobbies throughout the set 15 where they know each other's styles, they know their game plans, they know their general, preferences when it comes to comps as well. And 3 players from different regions just, coming in and saying, we can hang as well.
Well, I think Lawu is kind of one of those big wildcard factors for this particular tournament. One, coming in as just like a new player to the Tactician's crown, but also I feel like since CN does play very different formats, it's always kind of hard to tell where they land with the meta read of things.
Yeah, also great to see Tardman, saw him also in Macau, trying to compete also in every open possible. A huge elite player that maybe hasn't have the recognition, at least internationally. Heavy-minded, high HQ, fully into the game. Great character. And also, I like to say a good friend. Someone who likes to talk about the game, likes to share his knowledge on stream. And remember, all of these players, the players on Tactician Crown, are all streamers. So they or are forced to become streamers in one way or another. So you can also watch their POV directly live for this tag card.
All their players keeping their hands warm for the action that would surely start very soon as Wet Jungler gets his PC locked and loaded. One player I want to highlight in this lobby after this stage 2, 5 win streak for Sangyup. He's playing around the Sorcerer line right now, has an RE2 and a Swain 2. He's a player we have Portable Forge with the DFG pickup. We mentioned it. It's a hard line to play, Vertical Sorcerer. You have to play it from very specific spots. I think you have to play it from a win streak in particular. You can't just move into it from a 10 loss and then hope to stabilize, because sometimes it just doesn't work out if you don't hit your Gwen. So I'm very curious to see if Sangyup, with the help of the Trainer Golem, with the extra +1 Sorcerer, can play into the Vertical Sorcerer line, and if it can work out in this meta.
I feel like it can, but I think, I was talking to Frodan about this a little bit as well, but some of it is just really complicated to make sure that you have enough power, and then it's expensive to actually get to the point where you have the ability to get all of those sorcerers in. You need to get Gwen. You need to be able to actually tech in enough sorcerers, and I think that AP lines in general can actually be a little bit problematic to actually get all the copies that you need. And a lot of the champions that you want in that front line are going to be contested. So can you actually get enough that are going to buy you time for everything to kind of work?
Yeah, also getting there, right? Because we know Wandering Train is just so huge in getting a
I still don't even know what the pause was for, but okay. I think the Battle Icon board can probably play like Yumi Varus as their core. Because they can drop like Kata, Jace. They have Wraith Protector. So I mean, like, I feel like it's just the Varus is the only option, and then you have. Okay, actually, if you drop this Jace, then you don't need. You just go two more. You just go more sniper probably. Maybe you go more like Bastion or something. Well, that guy's out of money. No Ash. That is unfortunate. Okay, wait, they found the Ash. 6 slider for the set. From this golem, that's, you know, not bad. Viego 3. Rip double. Rip double. Oh, day 6 also dead. Hartman pretty happy. You know, honestly, getting top 3 with this dummy, that's pretty good. I mean, he kind of hit everything for free, though. Like... Oh, this Orc player is winning out? Is that a Orc player? Yeah. I mean, that's pretty good. It's nice to see. Ooh, that was very close. But yeah, the Cirque player actually won.
Because it was just so close to seeing an additional cast from the Jinx, but at that final moment there, I kind of wonder if some of it was just all of that Gwen damage that came out early really starting to stack up, so that the Jinx just wasn't healthy enough for that final 1v1.
We had all kinds of lobby complexions up until now in the first 3 games, but Game 4 gave us our off-meta lobby. 6 Sorcerer takes the win. Viego Rero makes a showcase. Double 61 plays a vertical Battle Academia with all kinds of carries in his comp as well. So a really cool and creative game from most of our competitors in that Game 4.
Yeah, Malajos on the other hand, a bad game maybe in RNG for him, not finding bows early, going for that hero Awen Chen and as possibility. And now we're seeing a little of the Americas. Old man Robin there, just trying to keep himself very awake. Marcel P also having a good chance on the back. Dohua also with good possibilities here. JD looking strong, and they're all pretty focused here, Necker.
They're definitely focused. I think they're all, a couple of our lobbies are still playing out, so as I hear some pop-offs happening.
Michael, yeah. And that's not happy pop-off, huh?
Oh, I don't think so.
Yeah.
Gobo with the now you see me, now you don't. No more singing from Ben.
Yeah,
I think
he stopped the French rap.
No, he's really focused.
And
now.
there it is.
Second half of the day has to get serious.
This is not good. Michael having a good game 1 and 2. So we'll have some information right now probably, but this is not happy face.
No, it's tough, but I think that's like, it's kind of the nature of the Tactician's crown. Everybody is so strong. Every single game is going to be really hard. You think about the level of player that we have here, and to kind of put it into like a ranked perspective, it's like you're playing you're a challenger lobby against the top like 0.001% of challenger players.
Yeah, tough. Competition
it's
is
really
tough.
hard.
We're looking at the final lobby screen from that game, number 4. And some really cool boards, like we mentioned. Obviously, finally seeing 6 Sorcerer from the right spot. Sorcerer +1, Soulfighter +1, 10 win streak. Everything came together for that comp and that line to be viable. Even then, Sangyup had some trouble stabilizing because there were more players holding Gwens as well, with Tomino finding it from Golden Quest.
Yep.
Props to Tomino as well. I think took a big risk playing for Golden Quest off of a win streak, trying to. I think he was already with 21 points, so he said, hey, I'm going to try and gamble a bit, see if I can have like a really big high roll and play for another first or second here and be in a great position, not just to make day 2, but to be in a place for final lobby maybe even going into day 2.
Yeah, exactly. One of the leaders together with Cheetos there, high placement. So Tomino having a great run right now. And we see some more streams here. Our co-streamers having fun, making sure to cover all the action here. And now we'll see some of the highlights.
This was the highlight.
Yeah, the highlight.
Lulu pop up.
I was like, oh, the game knew I was coming back and just wanted to give me a treat.
And props to Double. I really liked his game. I just think he lowered a little bit. Not finding the tier for this second adaptive would have really changed his lobby tempo and his tankiness really.
Also, maybe going to level 9, he decides to stay there and ramps a placement and maybe trying to find the Varus for the Wrath and also for the Sniper.
Never got Leona too either. Like that was, I think, kind of the big deal on top of the fact you didn't have that second adaptive. Is that you were stuck using that Garen in the front line when you would have much rather had that Leona doing all of that heavy lifting for you.
With jungler, couldn't find that Jinx too early, went 7th here, just trying to tempo out there with the Star Guardian, so not having a good position here. Daisy also trying for Crystal Gami in the start.
5th place, his spot looked very doomed. Yep. I remind you, 4-1, 0 gold, level 8, no Ashe. Yep. Reinforcement, immediately finds an Ashe. The kind of saves the game, ends up being a 5th in the end, but similar to the Janariro game, it looked like an 8th, it turned into a 5th. Last time it was a 4th. Those are a lot of extra points Dasik is able to get, and it shows the resilience of a player like Dasik who has been playing for so long. Definitely knows how to mitigate variance.
Oh, the Seraphine. It's a big cast.
Le Coco doing the double screen. I mean, new generation always have to have a double screen present right here. And of course, once again, beautiful Alicante, Spain for all the players. I mean, it's so hype. I'm so happy to be here for this threshold in TFT competitive, Necra. It's just huge. Seeing the co-streamer together, seeing the players, and now building the tension up. Is that we have seen so many mixed emotion that is just, I mean, it's amazing for me.
The highs and the lows
Yep.
of the players, how they've done in their games, how they can commiserate and celebrate with their compatriots, and also get all of the backseating coming through from the co-streamers. No, it has been such an amazing tournament so far, and can you believe that we're almost done with our day? We have 2 more games for our competitors. Our field of 40 will be cut to only 32 at the end of it all. We're going to take a short break, and when we come back, we will get you that 5th game. Stay tuned.
Yeah, they're not happy that they have to be here. They're stressed out. What? Oh, you can't come up here. I can't let you out. Oh. I can't let you out. I might have to call it for today. There's a lot of stuff's gonna come up soon. And it's gonna be a real problem. Also, I am very tired. So, yep, I'll be back tomorrow. I'll actually stream all the games. Yep, thanks everyone for watching.